Hello, viewers from across the globe. How are you doing today? I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. Today we're going to be going over some basics in Photoshop, some tools and tricks that'll make editing your photos seem so much easier and make you look like a professional. You can show it off to your friends. Hey, look what I did! So right here, what you're looking at, this is a finished product I did. Basically, I took a photo, traced out some of the lines with the paintbrush tool, and then bippity boppity boo, I just, use paint bucket tool, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And then I got this. And here's the original photo. Now, I'm not going to show you all of how to do this in one tutorial. So there will be multiples of this, probably, I don't know, every Monday, I guess. But here, let me show you some easy tricks. Up here, I just have a photo of this pretty little flower opened up. Here are some tools. You got your, arrow tool, selection tool, lasso tool, specialty selection tools like quick selection and magic wand. Magic wand's really useful. Crop, eyedropper, paintbrush, clone tool, eraser, paint bucket, artistic tools like blur, sharpen, and smudge, and burn, text, zoom, and your color selection. So let's move this back there. Okay, and I'm working with a tablet. It is a Wacom Bamboo Pen and Touch. Pen and Touch being because if I click a button, I can not only use it as a pen interface, but as another touchpad. But seeing as I'm using a laptop, kind of renders it moot. So let's just start by, I'm going to show you how to make a grayscale photo, but only like selectively grayscale, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. So up here you have a easy adjustments menu. So you have your brightness and contrast, levels, which is basically how much black, how much white, how much gray, curves, exposure, vibrance, hue and saturation. Most of these you would see on like a TV screen. And hang on, I got something at my feet. Ah, get out of here. Oh, it's a chip. Maybe I'll eat it. Maybe not. It's been on the floor. Okay, so I'm going to go hue and saturation. And, oh wait, no, never mind. I'm going to go to vibrance. Sorry about that. Now you see when I added these effects, it made a new layer. Now it is a separate entity from the original photo. So if I, give it 100% vibrance, ooh, that looks nice. I'll probably keep that. And maybe, 0% saturation. You see that it's going to, give it the grayscale. But right here, since it's a separate layer, if I click that eye, oh shit, what the hell's going on? Oh no. Is it gonna crash on camera? Oh no. Okay, so yeah, if I click the eye tool, it simply returns to do because this is a separate layer that we can work with and edit. So I'm going to leave it on like that. Okay, and if I want to change any edits, I can simply double click on the layer thumbnail. Let's say I want to return the saturation back to normal, back to 0%. There we go. So now that's back to normal. Now here's one little trick that you can use, combining layers. Now you can do that by simply selecting both layers either with Shift or Control clicking, go down here and you can click merge layers. Now what that does is if you're editing something, you can lock those edits into place by merging two layers. It's really more of a useful tool if you're working like from scratch or doing, painting using Photoshop, because then you can merge a whole bunch of layers in place. Like if I was doing line work and coloring in and I finished my figure, well, to prevent me from messing up the color or the line work, I would just make them one entire entity. And the same thing here, if I've edited this flower in a way that I like and I want to make sure that I don't, cross or interrupt any other layers, I'm just going to merge these layers, make them one entity. So I'm going to go back over to hue and saturation. No, why do I keep going hue and saturation? Vibrance. Blech. I'm going to bring the saturation down to 0 and make it a grayscale. Okay, but let's just say I want to have everything grayscaled except the flower part, the actual flower. Well, how can I do that? The edit edits the entire layer or the entire picture. I can't selectively change any specific areas, can I? Drinking some water. Sponsor! Sponsor me water. So, what can I do? Well, if you have your edit layer selected, you go to your eraser tool, make sure you have the page selected, not the thumbnail. Have the page selected. What the hell's going on? Sorry, it's working a little slow because I'm recording at the same time. Alright, so I have the actual page part, this little page symbol, selected of the layer. This will allow you to edit it. And I got my eraser tool. Let's just bring up the size. Yeah, that seems pretty good. I have my opacity set at 100%, so there's no transparency. My flow set at 100%, so there's an even flow. And I have my hardness set at 100%, but I'm going to bring it down to maybe 75. There, 75%. That way there will be enough of a faded edge that if I make a mistake, it'll be more agreeable. Oh, look, I just erased a little dot there. See, look, there's a little example right there. I can erase certain parts of the edited layer. So I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger so I can get some more prominent stuff out of the way. So with my Wacom pen and touch, I'm going to start erasing. And I am just erasing away the edited layer right here. See that? But we want the flower part, so let's zoom in on the flower. And if you click and drag, you can just pull it in, so to speak, and you no longer have to, continuously click that mouse button. So let's go back to that eraser tool, and let's just start filling in this flower, the major parts. Oh, look, it's such a pretty pink. So let's just fill all that in. I'll probably speed this up. we have both of our flowers thoroughly erased. Now, the reason we have this is because we erased that edited layer, and now the flowers show through. So it's sort of like making cutouts on paper. You know, you have maybe your brown construction paper and your red construction paper. You cut a hole in the red construction paper, and the brown, shows through. It's like crafts, but with digital information. So I'm just gonna zoom out so you can kind of get the full effect. So now the flowers is only what you see. Now you can do that with any editing layer, just as long as you have this white box selected right here. So wow, yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. But there's just something missing. Uh, I just think that we should have maybe some more color in there that surrounds them. And I also think that there's a little dead space right here. So we're going to crop it in. So we're just going to crop it in. I have just click the crop tool, click and drag. Now there are some easy little shortcuts. If you go Shift Alt, it'll evenly, keep the ratio from the end, center it. If you click Shift, it'll just, keep the ratio. It's fix it and links both sides. So I'm just going to zoom in and center it on there. There we go. Now let's start adding some colors in there. So first I'm going to add a layer. Now to add a layer, you just click that page there at the bottom right hand screen that says create new layer. Should probably drink some water. Water, glacier fresh. Okay, so we have created a new layer, and now we're just going to go to our paintbrush tool. What complements a good pink? I think that a nice teal will do. I'm kind of turning into Kermit the Frog now. Let's select a nice teal. Get my pen. We have our paintbrush selected, and now let's start making the border. Hey, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, why is this happening? Oh, look at that. It's because we have the layer under the edit. That's right, the editing layer affects everything, every layer below it. So we're just going to move our teal or cyan, whatever, layer above it, and holy crap, there it is. It looks so pretty and beautiful and whatnot. But let's just delete that and start over. There we go. Now here are some basic settings up here. Let me just set that back. First, you have your size and your hardness. Your hardness is basically how much or how soft or how hard your edge is going to be. So if you have a very hard edge, it's going to be crisp and clean. If you have very soft edge, it's going to fade out. So I want to have sort of like a faded effect on the edge. So I'm going to maybe put it down to 60%. There is no definite, if you want this effect, go to this, A plus B equals C. Really, with sliders, you just have to experiment, fidget on your own. I don't know what happened there. Okay, so opacity is basically your transparency. But opacity and transparency are not synonyms. Opacity is how not transparent something is. So if we set opacity down to 0%, it's going to be completely transparent. Well, 1%. It can't be 0%, otherwise it wouldn't be there. So I'm going to set my opacity down to maybe 55%. Now it's going to be 55% transparent. Well, 55% opaque, but 45% transparent. Got mixed up there. Flow, I'm not going to deal with that, but flow is basically how much ink is going to flow out of the virtual pen. So I have my pen tool selected. It's teal. And let's start putting in some backgrounds. All right. Oh, Just making sure. Yep, it's above the editing layer. So let's start adding in some stuff. I am just going to draw randomly here. Maybe let's put a little Swiss right there. Now let's add some more, and you'll see that some areas are a little brighter. That's because of the transparency setting. It's like if you add two layers of film on top of each other, one's going to look more solid than the other. Alright, so that's there. That looks kind of messy. Alright, smartass. Well then I have some solutions for you. It's called the artistic tools here. Blur, sharpen, and smudge. Blur, obviously makes it more blurry, but the one that I like is the smudge tool. Now the smudge tool, if you've ever smudged something, you know it does what it says. It smudges things. Right here is the settings. Hardness is basically, if you can picture a thumb, it's how hard it's going to press on there. And the more hard it is, the more smudging it's going to do. Strength sort of edits the same area, so I have it on 100% strength. It's going to smudge a lot, and it's going to drag it a lot further. But I'm going to set it to like maybe 64%. And now let's start making some crazy, wacky lines. This is pretty good if you want to add a smoky effect. Sorry, it's moving kind of slow because I'm running the recording program at the same time, and Photoshop takes a lot of RAM or whatnot. Personally, I think that there's a little too much stuff in there, so let's start erasing it. I want to start erasing some of this stuff. So I'm just going to work on the borders, and we're just going to speed through that. And I absolutely hate this border, actually. There's too much. Okay, so I'm done making those sort of like borderline flame effects. So, but I think that we should add a third color. We have a nice pink and a red. Let's add a cool looking neon green. There we go. Let's make it really transparent. So it's just sort of just hinting at it. So I'm going to set the opacity down at 25%. And let's set the hardness down to something like, I don't know, 8%. That's good. That works. But let's make it really big. So let's bring the size up. There we go. Now let's sort of add that green to it. Okay, so those are the tricks you can use with the pen and blur tool. Let's just review what brought us to this point. First, we added an editing layer, specifically vibrance, and removed the saturation to turn the full color photo into a grayscale photo. Then, using the eraser tool, we started to remove some of the editing layer and reveal the colored photo underneath. Then we added a border using the paintbrush tool with a transparency setting and low hardness. then we use the smudge tool to slightly smudge the lines. And there you have it. There are some tips and tricks to help you edit a cool looking photo. Didn't really go for design or artistic here. We just wanted to show some examples of what you can do. So that's it for me. Tune in next Monday. Next Monday sounds good. Tune in next Monday for another tutorial on Photoshop. And if you have any requests on what you would like to know, just comment down below and make sure to like, send this off to your friends so they learn how to use Photoshop. And then maybe they can make some awesome looking flowers like these. And until then, to the viewers around the world, I'll catch you later, guys.